Hey everyone, it's Lindsay from My Crafty Plans. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another memory plan with me. This is, of course, my Aura Estelle A5 wide cloud planner. I have Caress Press dated inserts and this is going to be a catch-up spread. So this is an older spread that I skipped over in my memory planner and now I am going back to catch up. As I work my way through my memory planner, you're gonna see a big mix of summer and fall and even a few spring kits as I just kind of alternate between more recent weeks and older weeks while I catch up in here. So this was the week of May 30th to June 5th and I'm going to be using this Sail Away kit from Two Lil Bees. I absolutely love this. She has reformatted this art and this kit a couple of times and I'm pretty sure that I have used this every single reformat. Just one of my all-time faves, and Two Lil Bees is of course one of my all-time favorite shops as well. So it is gold foil, lots of beachy nautical vibes. I've got tons of foil deco pulled out to match with this. We have this kit format here. You've got some headers, a weekly thing, some deco, tons and tons of boxes, and then the bottom washi and date covers, and then I have a bunch of add-ons for this as well. I have got the functional add-on, which I love this add-on for Two Lil Bees, and you get like extra quarter boxes, some smaller layering pieces, some of the date toppers as well. Then I also have this deco sheet add-on and the little deco sheet add-on. So this one has the washi trim, some swatches, some more florals, and then some more florals here. So we're gonna go really big with deco this week. I will be doing most of this in the regular sped up version, but a lot of you did seem to like the talk through portion. So for this week, the talk through portion is going to be the date topper. So I am gonna speed this up through the first part of the base of the spread, then we will work on the date covers together, and then I will jump into the day by day after that. So if that sounds good, you can stay tuned. I'm gonna pull out these pages and jump in. So I'm gonna jump right in with the full boxes. I absolutely love this kit. I just think it's so beautiful, and it reminds me so much of the beach that we go to. I'm not really sure what it is specifically about it. Maybe it's like the lighthouse or the birds flying. I just feel like this doesn't look like a super hot tropical beach, which is not the kind of beach we go to. The beach we go to is in New Jersey, so it's warm but not, you know, it's not the tropics or anything. There weren't enough like deco boxes. There were 2 solid boxes in this kit, so I decided I'm gonna use one. Decided to use one of them, but I end up layering it with some other stickers from this kit to make it like a little bit less simple. In general, those solid pattern boxes are not my favorite kind of boxes. I super love this kit though, so I still bought it anyways, and there was plenty of deco and like elements on the journaling sheet that I could use to kind of create my own little scene there. And I actually think this kind of looks really cute. It looks like something floating in the water maybe. It's very peaceful, so I really like how that turned out. It looks a little funny when just the full box is down, but once the rest of the spread is down, I think it looks like a bit more incorporated and it doesn't immediately jump out that that's a full box that I layered together myself. I also decided to use the floral trims at the bottom since I had them and I thought they were super, super pretty. I had this big mental debate about whether to use them at the top as like a date topper or at the bottom, but since I was going to film the date toppers as a talk through, I decided to use them in the bottom washi. And then I had a little bit of extra space, so I went with 2 Simply Gilded washies at the bottom just because the florals were pretty thin, and so I didn't end up using any of the washi from the kit except for the floral trim, and I just layered this nautical blue and white polka dot from Simply Gilded. I definitely love to use this washi at least once every summer in my memory planner, but it's definitely a more used bow roll of mine. It's just a really nice bright navy and it matches perfectly with the kit. And then I mixed that with some Heart and Vine washies in the pink color. This kit was really easy to match washies too. I honestly had pulled out way more than even just those 2 that were potential for this. I had just like a ton of gold foil colors that matched with this. Then I started putting in a little bit of foil deco coming out of the florals, but I kind of changed my mind about it. So I ended up only just doing like 2 on each side, 1 at either end. I didn't have the exact sticker that I was looking for pulled out. I do end up going to get it later to work on the date covers, so I could have done it more, but I didn't go back and add any more to it. Then for the sidebar, I layered one of the journaling pieces up at the top with the little Polaroid box. I like that it's a little square for the Polaroid rather than being like such a big piece that some of the other kits out there do, and I just layered some deco into there as well. Super, super cute. Things that I'm tracking in my sidebar besides my meals, which I always put my meals in my sidebar, even though this is a week that happened in May. I'm just copying it down. I don't necessarily remember any of these meals specifically. I love having my memory planner because it does help me. It like definitely jogs my memory. Like I look over my spread before I record the voiceover and before I plan, and then it helps me remember that week so well. So that is one of the things that I love about memory planning. But anyway, I just marked that this was like the unofficial start of summer. I always think of this weekend, well, really Memorial Day weekend for me marks the beginning of summer. Just my whole life beach season has been Memorial Day to Labor Day, and that is what I personally think of as summer. I know that that can be a kind of controversial topic, but my definition of summer is Memorial Day to Labor Day, even though the kids were still in school at this point, but we were still going to the beach most weekends, really from this weekend on. And actually we went a couple times in May as well, just because it was warm and my parents have a place down there, so we're not dealing with like any kind of rental season or anything like that. Anyway, then also we watched and finished Stranger Things Part 1 this week. Oh my gosh, I honestly was so tense. Just like anytime I thought about it in between when Part 1 and Part 2 came out, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And I would just like periodically just pop into my brain. And I was like, I don't remember ever feeling like this tense about a TV show before. I'm sure that I have. And probably like if I go back in my youth and stuff, thinking about like the good cliffhangers. But as a grown up, this is definitely, I was feeling really intense feelings about this. I absolutely love Stranger Things. I am ready to do the date covers. I was not really sure what I wanted to do. Initially, I was thinking I maybe wouldn't use them, but I think I want to, but I think I'm gonna kind of like make them a little bit journaling style and offset them since I ran this part of the sidebar all the way in. For date dots, I actually have some anchor ones that are gonna match really well with this. These are from the Pretty Pink Co. These are actually from last year, but I saved them, obviously, and then I think that these are gonna look super, super cute. Plus they are gonna run off, these are quite large, so they'll run off the top a little, and then we can kind of like figure out what the decoration piece is gonna be here. So I have a couple of different, I'm just gonna stick this down for just 1 second, but I'm not gonna push it down all the way in case I wanna move it. But so I have these date toppers from Letters to Apollo, which have these little beach sunset scenes with the seagulls, and I really wanna use those this week. I think they're super, super cute. I've also got like the florals that came with the kit, obviously, and this more journaling-esque page, which I think it could be maybe fun to mix some elements in here. I definitely need a little bit of navy right here, just color-wise, just to break up the lighter blues, but the florals have a lot of navy in them, so I'm not too worried about that. Actually, maybe even this square piece, which I've now just dropped on the spread. That ended up breaking a little bit when I took it off, but I actually think that that's fine. I'm gonna still use it. I like the torn look, so I'm gonna kind of layer this in between, and I'm gonna cut off that little top piece right there. So I don't usually have a really strong strategy when I do this kind of date topper. I tend to just kind of start out playing around, and then I basically repeat. Instead of doing, I usually go every other day, or sometimes if you make like a center focal point, and then you can work your way out from there. And those are the two kind of main styles that I do of this. I know a lot of people will build the elements on the sticker page, but for some reason that never works for me. I always just have a problem with moving it, so I usually just build it right on the page. I don't think I'm gonna actually maybe I will start with that. So if I start with one of these, let me just see how far up that runs. And I was actually thinking they might look cute layered with the floral. Yeah, so like that. So I'm gonna line up the gold line with the white bottom trim of the floral. Hopefully you can see that. So this is gonna come up a little bit across the top of the page, and these things are just gonna overlap each other, which is totally fine. That's kind of the look. Two Lil Bees stickers are really nice to work with if you have to pull stuff up. I don't seem to have, like certain shops, it's easier, it just depends on the paper, to pull things back up or pull other stickers off them. I always can break out the undo if I need it, but Two Lil Bees is one that's like a little bit easier to kind of move around. Just trying to line this up straight. And also the transparent matte is easier to move than the clear. Although I think that these date numbers might be clear. Okay, so that's cute. And then I actually do think it just needs just a teensy something right there. There. It's definitely a busy date topper, but I actually really like how that looks. Okay, so then we're gonna go on till Tuesday. I'm not gonna go up, down for these. A lot of times I'll run them up, down, but that's not what I'm doing today. But I am, like I said, I'm just dragging it out so the floral tucks over the side a little bit. And then obviously it'll run off a little bit of the side of the page on Wednesday, which is totally fine. So I'm having a think about Tuesday, but in the meantime, since I already know what I'm gonna do, and that's go every other day, I can go ahead and put down the Wednesday ones, and that way while I'm just thinking about how I want to handle Tuesday. Alright, so these run both directions, and I'm gonna need 4, so I think I'll do the 2 looking this way on this side and the 2 looking the other way on that side. Not that it super matters either way. I actually really like the way that those look together. I was not 100% about that, but it's real pretty. And this one was June 1st. Put that up a little too high. I'm gonna see if I can gently move it, but if not, I won't. Nope, see, it peeled right back up, no problem. I can actually even run it off the side of this a little bit because I don't think I'm gonna stick anything in between. There, that's perfect. Okay, so then again, skip Tuesday, let's go to Friday, and I'm gonna put Friday and Sunday down, and we're gonna do the same thing we did for Monday. And, oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna put all of the date covers down because I wanna see how far I will have to run Sunday off the side of the page. Because if I do, like if I just angle that over just a little, then I don't want to run out of space. So we'll just put all of the date covers down, and then we'll come back for the decoration. So like that, and then, so now we're skipping Thursday, now we go Friday. And then on Sunday, and I made sure to save one that's angled this way for Sunday, just little touches. And then we're gonna grab these 2, the ones with the suns going the other way. I almost said the wrong way, but there's no wrong way for the sun to be going. Although, I mean, like east-west, I guess there is, but up, down, or left, right of the thing, I don't think there's a wrong way. And then I'm gonna grab the date number. So this was 1, 2, 3. You do have to be careful. I feel like so many times when I do it this way, where I'm putting the date number down before, you know, like intermittently, I always end up putting the wrong numbers down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have a calendar open in front of me right now, so hopefully that is correct. But that is that. And then this is, well, this is a really busy spread, and you know I love that, but I might go just a little bit simpler with the ones in between to kind of balance it out. Also, I think I really want to bring in some more of the navy, because I think that that is gonna look really, really nice, because there's navy at the bottom and the date covers are the light blue. I am gonna cut this in half. I'm actually gonna save this one to use in the spread with all of the green, I think, but I think, yeah, if I just kind of pop that one there, and then where are my little leaves? Just super nope to that. Okay, I just went and grabbed actual little leaves. I didn't have like from my floral collection out, but I just think I need some actual leaves instead of these little branches that I was using before are from the Sea Life, the Honey Inked Sea Life from last summer. But these are actually also from Honey Inked, but which she hasn't had new releases in a really long time, but her shop is still open. And I heard she's coming back, but I don't know if that's true. So I think I like that with like the little more clean and simple. And then maybe we'll tuck a little nautical deco into it and see, just make it like a little. And I also have some teeny tiny cluster shells that I think could be nice. It's just like a little element. And these ones are from Sadie Stickers, and the nautical stuff is from Pretty Pink Co. And then let's maybe get the little wheel. I keep wanting to use this and then not using it. So I can put the wheel up there. I was like, where are my clusters? But they're right here. These I sometimes will cut too. These kinds of clusters cut really nicely. So you can, if you have a piece that's too big and you want to break it apart. But these, I have a lot of space over here. And then maybe just one more teeny tiny little shell down at the bottom to extend the cluster a little bit. Cute. Okay, so that is those days. And then I guess, where is my... I keep losing things on my desk. Deed numbers. So that was... Oh no, what did I do with the dates? No, we're good. This is a month. May is a month that has 31. I was just thinking there's only one day of the month, because I put June up at the top, and usually I'll just skip it on the straddle week where it's like May, June, but I was thinking it's only one day, but it's actually 2 days in May, so, but whatever. I did it anyways. So that is that, and then I am gonna cut another one of these bouquets, and I actually think this one, if I cut in half, is that the one I want to use? I think, or maybe this one. Or maybe, well, I have two of those and I picked it. All right, this one is bigger. Okay, so if I cut this one in half, I think I'll be able to use both halves for this one, that I'll like the way that they look. Both of them. Definitely this one going in the center here, and then this one. And again, I'm just gonna build out from each of the pieces. I just kind of build this up and do whatever. I don't have like a super strong strategy for doing these. Sometimes I have like an overall look that I'm going for, or I will have seen something that somebody did and I'm trying to, you know, like draw inspiration from that, or try out some particular style that I've seen on Instagram. And there's a lot of people out there who are just so creative with their date toppers. My friend Tara from the Sticker Garden is definitely one of them. I absolutely love her stuff. Danny with a Planny, Lustrous Plans, obviously Rachel from Gathered Plans, and Lauren from Plan Mush Plans, and Tay from Shanti Plans. Those are people who do like really super decorative memory spreads all of the time. And you know, I just follow a lot of people on Instagram and try out all different things and just try and have fun with it. It's definitely increased the amount of time I spent on like one spread, which has made it harder for me to stay current in my memory planner, but it does look really pretty and it's so relaxing that I don't mind. I'll see as we get towards the end of the year, because I have a feeling that depending on how far behind I am, like my brain is gonna start to be like, oh, 2023 is coming, you're buying new planners, you gotta finish the ones you have. And obviously for our functional planners, that's not a big deal, that's happening. But for this planner, you know, I don't wanna go into the new year with like 10, 15 spreads still left to do. So I may have to try and figure out a way to batch them or do some of these a little bit quicker, try out different styles that are a little bit faster for just, not for all of the weeks, for some of the weeks, but I also just have so many pretty kits and I want to do them justice, so it's just always trying to find a balancing act for that. So I'm gonna get, where my shell clusters go? Oh. So anyway, that is just my little strategy going on. It's definitely on my mind, but the kids are back in school now, so hopefully I will be able to at least catch up somewhat. Again, I expect to have spreads from last year. Sorry, my camera cut off. My battery died on my camera, but I just swapped that out for a new one. Anyway, so like I said, I expect to still have stuff, you know, a couple of spreads left in the new year, but I don't, you know, I'd like to be able to finish in like the first couple months of the year, not next May or anything like that. So, because I'm going to want to stay current in the other one too. So anyway, I started to get really behind in this like late spring, summer with our vacations, and then I had a work trip, and then we had like all of our summer travel. So I'm hoping now that the kids are back in school and we have like a more regular schedule, I'll be able to catch up a little bit. Okay, so I just kind of decorated this up. I think, where are my leaves? I'm gonna add just like a couple more leaves poking out because I have more on this side, and you know, I like things to be semi-symmetrical, but other than that, we should be good to go. So I am gonna, in a minute, go into the day by day of this spread. I do have to figure out just one thing. And I always use tweezers when I'm working with this dainty kind of deco. I use tweezers a lot in stickering, honestly, and I have a pair of old Tweezerman tweezers that I actually just saved. I didn't feel like they were sharp enough to do my eyebrows with anymore, so I switched them, I cleaned them up and switched them to stickers, because they are definitely sharp enough for that. Okay, so I just swapped out one of those little clusters to be more deco. Then the last thing is I'm actually just gonna move this full backs up to layer right underneath the, and I'm gonna use undo for that, to layer right underneath the date cover. Wasn't sure what I was doing with date covers when I put down the full boxes, but this one, I'm just gonna tuck it all the way up at the top, and then I'm gonna go into the day by day, which will be back to the regular speed through, talk, like voiceover style plan with me. So I hope you enjoyed getting to hear me talk through putting down the decorative date toppers. Jumping into the day by day, I do hope you enjoyed hearing me talk through the deco. The only piece of the spread that I really have left that I've never done a talk through on is the sidebar. Next plan with me coming up on my memory spread is just going to be regular style, and then maybe the one after that I will share my sidebar process. But I've already done the day by day, went up in a how I prep and plan for my memory planner video, so I can link that down in the description below. And then my last plan with me before this, I did kind of the other elements of the base of the spread. So we are kind of all caught up here. Anyway, on Monday, it was Memorial Day, so my husband didn't have work and the kids didn't have school, and we were actually still at the beach from the weekend. We went for kind of a really long walk, and we walked to this bakery that we liked, and then we picked up some treats there, and we took them to go and eat at the playground, which is always super fun. This week, I am using some girls from Fox and Pip, and then some doodle icons from Hello Petite Paper and White Deer Stationery. I actually don't think I used any foil icons this week. Everything that I used was either a Fox and Pip girl or a doodle icon from one of those two shops. I did use foil scripts this week. I have a description in my description below. I link like all of my favorite foil shops, but if you ever want to know where a specific sticker is from, I feel like I say this all the time, and definitely just ask. I'm putting down like a couple at a time, and then I went in with the writing because I was trying to use a lot of foil scripts this week. I feel like always at the beginning of the week, I start off really strong pulling foil scripts, but then as it goes throughout the week, or as the plans get a little bit more complicated, I end up kind of forgetting about foil scripts a lot, and then like right at the end I'm like, oh, I didn't use any foil scripts, I should use some more. So it kind of ebbs and flows. Actually, I'm looking, I didn't use any on the weekend, but I stayed pretty consistent other than that. Anyway, after the playground, we drove home. So we drove home kind of like around lunchtime and let the kids have car naps, or so right after lunch. And then I had to do a little bit of work just because Monday is usually my like busy / consistent work day. For those of you that don't know, I work freelance, but I have a project that's regularly every Monday. But I did most of it on Sunday just because knowing that it was going to be happening this week on Labor Day when the kids were off. And then it's something that publishes on Tuesday. And we were still trying to meet that publication deadline, even with the holiday. So I just still needed to kind of get it done as usual. Anyway, while I was finishing up my little bit of work, my husband and the big kids actually ended up cleaning out the whole garage, which I totally did not even ask anyone to do. So my husband was just in there and noticed that it was looking really messy. So he went ahead and did that and like swept it all out and everything. He's really good about stuff like that. And then that night we had like a little barbecue at home, just the family, like immediate family, not anyone coming over or anything. But I did mark down specifically in my planner that this was the first night that we had corn of the summer. And it's so funny thinking now that I wrote that down, like we've had so much corn all summer, but also just like the corn song is from like Reels or from TikTok is like constantly running in my head and I can't get it out of my head. And when I read that I marked down the first night we had corn of the summer in my planner, I just actually started laughing out loud, like literally laughed out loud, just thinking that was a thing that I put in my planner, that I put in my notes to put in my planner seriously, like months and months ago when this actually happened. But anyway, all in all, we had a good Labor Day weekend at the beach. We had a good Memorial Day weekend at the beach. We also had a good Labor Day weekend at the beach because that is how far behind I am in my memory planner at this point. And then I'm just going through with a little bit of deco to finish up the day. I used a lot of deco from Sadie Stickers this week. All of the little teeny tiny foil clusters with the shells are from Sadie Stickers. I'm going to be honest, these are not my favorite. I think they look really nice in the spread, but this is like a kind of deco that I'm not super buying anymore. I'm going to use up what I have. I just prefer the much more dainty look of like the open shells, leaves, pumpkins, whatever it's going to be, rather than the teeny tiny solid filled in ones. I find that it's a little bit hard just to distinguish between the different shapes, but I did have it, so I'm going to use it. And this was a week where I used a lot of it up, but I also then get to use a lot of it in the spread because I don't feel like I need to save it because it's not like my favorite piece. And I definitely have some more open shells that I'm a little bit more careful with. And then for the fall, I didn't really buy, might have some from last year, but I didn't buy any of this like kind of really tiny cluster deco. I stuck to things that were like more open and a little bit lighter looking. So on Tuesday, I still had to do some work to just get everything finished up for publication. And then I did a kettlebell workout, and then the baby and I just played outside for a while. This was like a whole phase where I was bringing my workout gear outside with me and then doing it outside like while I played with my daughter and just kind of mixing the two together. It works super well. I like that a lot. I find it really hard to motivate myself to exercise when the kids aren't home and when the kids are napping, and it just works a lot better if I kind of incorporate it into play. I don't know. It just feels like I'm not giving up my free time then. Maybe that's unfair, but whatever. Anyway, I also finished a book this day. This was called You'll Be the Death of Me. It was okay. I gave this 3 stars on Goodreads, and I had to like look up which book this was because I read a lot of these YA new adult like thriller, mystery, those kind of books, like Pretty Little Liars, but a book. I've read a lot of those lately. I got super hooked on them after reading One of Us is Lying, and that's actually by the same author as this book, and I really, really loved One of Us is Lying and the sequel to that book, and this is just another book by the same author, not in the same universe or a sequel or anything like that, and I just didn't like this one as much, but it was decent. It wasn't bad or anything, and if you like that style of book, you will probably like this one. It just wasn't my particular favorite. Then this evening, we watched TV. We were watching Stranger Things. We were also watching Hacks at this time. Oh my gosh, Hacks is it's my favorite new comedy in such a long time. I absolutely love this. It's so, so funny. So if you haven't seen that yet and you are looking for a comedy, I highly recommend it. There's 2 seasons and it's on HBO. Then I'm still filling this out a little bit. And again, I'm probably going to go in with a little bit of deco. I tried to do it throughout, but then kind of when I got to the end of every day, I went back in and peppered in a little bit more of the deco, just where I felt like there was some spots missing. And then again, once I finished the whole spread, I kind of looked over it and added in a couple more pieces as well. I really tried to bring in a lot of the florals this week, and also I brought in a lot of the deco throughout the spread, which I absolutely love the way that this spread turns out. So then on Wednesday, I just had like a really nice chill morning. I had my coffee outside and just relaxed. It was a good morning with the kids, which does happen sometimes, and like where things don't feel like so hectic and frantic getting them out the door and getting them to school or to camp in this case, and like things are going more smoothly. This was still the school year, so this was actually before school and even now, school routines are so much easier than camp routines for some reason. We struggled so much this summer with like just having peaceful mornings where it wasn't just absolute chaos getting the kids to camp. I actually think this is a case where more time is harder to deal with than less time, because school starts earlier than camp does, and dealing with the tighter timeline actually makes things easier than having all of this extra time, because with all of the extra time, what ends up happening is the kids dump all of their toys out everywhere, and then they have to clean them up, and they don't want to, and then sunscreen is always a battle for some reason. So anyway, I'm a little bit glad that camp is done, but we are back in school and the routines have been going really well. But back to this actual week in my planner, I was working on an article this week, so I had some writing time, then I had some planner time. I actually read a whole YA book this day, which was called So This Is Ever After. It's supposed to be like this is what happens after the vanquished. This is what happens after the hero vanquished. It was just okay. This was another one where I had to look up what the book was about because I 100% didn't remember. And again, this was just a book that was okay. So that's what I read this week, was just mediocre YA books. So yeah, I went through a phase and I read like a bunch of mediocre YA books. And then I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't need to be reading this much YA. And I took like a really, really big break from reading YA over the summer and read like a lot more romance and a couple of fantasy series and stuff like that. But I just got really burnt out on reading young adult fiction that I was no longer connecting with. Anyway, my dad also stopped over this afternoon, as he sometimes does, and just hung out for like about an hour. And then he was meeting up with some friends of his that live in our area, which is why he stopped by. And then that night we just watched some more TV. Again, we were just watching a lot of Stranger Things this week, and I can actually see we're going to finish it the next day. So we were still just powering through that first part of the season, which honestly, I'm pretty sure we finished it in like 3 or 4 days, which for my husband and I watching something together is such a short amount of time. Usually it takes us forever to finish watching shows because we don't have that much TV time after the kids go to bed, and we don't always even feel like watching TV at night. So it's for us to like finish a show that quickly. It speaks to how much we love something. On Thursday, I went out for coffee and we got some breakfast snacks, and then I took the baby to the playground. It was just the weather was really nice this week. This was before it got so super hot this summer. And then that afternoon, I listened to some podcasts and did some editing and that kind of stuff. While I'm a little bit ahead, I will also just mention I absolutely love that new Two Lil Bees sheet that has like all of the more journaling-esque pieces, like the little swatches and the pieces that aren't, like the boxes that aren't so straight line. Like the one that I used on the playground one. I really love that look in the spread, and I will definitely be buying more sheets like that going forward from Two Lil Bees and from other shops as well, because I know a ton of other shops are offering that gel. I just love what journaling kits have done to the decorative planning community. I love using journaling kits in my functional planning, but also in my memory planner. Just really, really pretty. That evening, we had a school fundraiser barbecue picnic thing. Unfortunately, the weather was so bad, and it started raining seriously like 10 minutes after this event started. And my husband was supposed to meet us there after work, so I just stayed there. Like after I picked the kids up from school, I stayed there because it was starting like after. So we were playing, and then my husband was going to come meet us, but then it was raining so bad. So I told him to just not even bother coming to meet us. And we just kind of stayed for the bare essentials of the event and then headed home. I think they were still able to raise like good money, which is obviously what was important. But yeah, it was just a really unfortunate timing for the event. It had already been canceled once because of rain. So this was actually the rain date. So it wasn't rescheduled again. But anyway, I didn't end up eating at the barbecue because of that. So my husband and I still got takeout tonight, that night, because that's our regular Thursday night deal, is takeout after the kids go to bed and then watching TV together. And we finished Stranger Things Part 1, which is really appropriate. And we got Szechuan, which, if you are unfamiliar, is a type of Chinese food particular to a specific region in China. And it is very, very spicy. And it's like the mouth numbing, tingling kind of spicy. And I absolutely love it. We used to go all the time when we lived in New York. My husband had a friend who was from that region of China, and he used to take us to like some really very authentic places in New York City, in Chinatown, where you could get this food, and I've just loved it since then. This place is probably a little bit more westernized, but still delicious, and we're lucky enough that it delivers to us, so that is always good. We actually have really, really good delivery options in our area, which is great because we have definitely lived places where that is not the case. So on Friday, I just had a really nice and relaxing day. I did some planner stuff in the morning and just listened to some podcasts and relaxed while I did that. And then my husband came home for lunch, and we had lunch together, and I actually just used some utensils from White Deer Stationery to mark that. And it was just a really nice morning. And then that afternoon, I actually had a massage appointment, so that was also super, super nice. And then we ate dinner outside that night, and that night we just hung out and watched some TV and all that good stuff. I don't know what we were watching then after finishing Stranger Things Part 1 on Friday. On Thursday, I didn't specifically write down what we were watching this week. But anyway, I layered a little bit more florals into that box with where I wrote down the massage appointment, because I wrote down the massage part kind of small. And then I'm just filling out the rest and putting in some foils. I will mention that the date night at home sticker that I used to mark the TV on Friday night, that is from JK Creates Co. And that's actually a script I requested that she make, but it's available in the shop. It's not a custom for me. And I do have a coupon code for her, which is Lindsay15. And I have a freebie with her shop if you put my name in the notes to seller, and you can get a script that I requested. So I love her scripts, and she actually has a couple in her shop that are ones that I had specifically requested. So that is always super, super fun. Anyway, all of my coupon PR codes, all of that kind of stuff is always down in the description below. And I have a story saved on my highlights that has all of my PR codes and everything as well, if you're ever looking for them. So on Saturday, we just got up, we ran to Wawa and got coffee and breakfast snacks, as I like to call them, although honestly they're breakfast meals. It's just that my kids eat 3 separate breakfasts like almost every day. Seriously, I feel like, I don't know what it is about kids. They just eat. I feel like they don't stop eating from the moment they wake up through lunchtime, and then they just don't want to eat anything for dinner, and that's just the way it works. Anyway, but if you don't feed them all of that food all day through the first half of the day, then they just like complain the whole time that they're starving. So anyway, we got up, we got some coffees and snacks, and we drove down to the beach. And then we were at the beach that day, and we actually went to the beach, and we got a new baby cousin a couple weeks before this on my brother's side, and it was actually the baby's first time coming to the beach, so I marked that separately in there as well. Super, super cute. I mean, he just like slept in the little baby carrier all the time, taking me back to all of the summers before this one, where I feel like I had a baby strapped into the carrier, napping on me while the other kids played on the beach. But our baby in the carrier days are all done now. We also got ice cream on the beach that day, so it was a really big beach day for us. And then one of my friends came over in the afternoon, whose parents also have a place near my parents' place. It's like a friend from high school, and we had some drinks together in the cocktail hour afternoon region of the day, and just hung out for a little bit, which is super nice. And then we ordered pizza takeout with like my parents and my brother's family that night. And then I actually watched some Top Chef that night on I don't even know if it was like a new season or if I was just catching up. At some point during this spring/summer, I heard on a podcast about something about Top Chef, and I realized I hadn't watched like I hadn't watched it in like 2 or 3 seasons, because I just completely forgot that it was a show that I used to watch all of the time, and then I watched all of them. I watched like the 3 seasons that I missed, just kind of whenever, not really speed, I wouldn't say binge watch, but just over the course of the summer, caught up on all of that Top Chef just as I had time. It's not like a show my husband really likes to watch or anything, so it's something that I watch on my own, which I don't do a lot of TV watching on my own. Anyway, then on Sunday, we had a really bad night's sleep with all the kids sleeping in together in the same room, and we were up super early, and I used my favorite Fox and Pip sticker ever, which is this co-sleeping one with the mom being kicked in the face, just my favorite sticker. I don't feel like it actually, when the sticker came out, I felt like this was the sticker that most summed up my life. I don't feel that way anymore. You know, my kids have gotten a little bit older, and we're not in that stage of life so much anymore, but it's still one of my favorite stickers. Then that morning we went and we walked and got coffee and went to the playground, and then we kind of had a beach day, but it was a little bit cold, so we ended up not staying very long. This is still pretty early in the summer at this point. Everyone was absolutely exhausted, and we all took a nap. Me, my husband, all 3 kids. I don't even remember the last time that happened. It's a pretty rare occurrence, but I just called it a family nap, and literally all of us fell asleep. Then that night, we had a family barbecue, and I also squeezed in that I got caught up in a Rubik's Cube puzzle this evening. My mom bought Rubik's Cubes as like a toy for the kids, but they are way too young for that, and I absolutely love Rubik's Cube, so I can do a regular one. It's just a series of steps that you have to memorize. Basically, it's just like an algorithm. It's not really, if you know the steps, it's not very difficult to do, but she had bought some like weird shape ones, and I think a 4x4 cube, which is a bit more challenging to learn how to do. And I definitely spent more than one evening this summer working on Rubik's Cubes and, you know, learning how to solve them. So, you know, super neat nerdy party trick that I've been enjoying. I just find it very relaxing, and now I'm actually pretty good with the 4x4. But anyway, that is pretty much it. I'm just gonna go in with the last of the deco here and then wrap this up for the week. Okay, that is everything all finished up. I super love how this turned out. I just really love like the soft pink and blue with the pops of navy. It's just such a fun color combination, one of my absolute favorites. And here is what I have left from the kit. I did have a lot of extras from this kit, so I do have a lot of extras. I will put these in my D-Stash giveaway pile as usual, but yeah, I'm just really happy to be back planning in here, having a lot of fun with these spreads, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely let me know in the comments down below and like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and follow me on Instagram at mycraftyplans to keep up with everything going on in my planners. Bye!